see, do I get, okay, recording has started. So, we have started right now working with Windows Forms, and I will actually begin with working on, like, continuing on the work which Dennis already has presented in his lectures. And a word of disclaimer, which I'm gonna again mention it like several times throughout this class, is whatever this class or this code which you're gonna see, this is just to like to show you a couple of things how it works. This is not gonna be the right way to do things, right? I'm just like putting it out there. We're gonna just go with the flow, just put some things in there. The code will be super messy in terms of design and architecture, but I'm relying on the fact that once Dennis covers actually additional concepts, I will actually get back to that game and finish it. All right, at least get it like 75% kind of production ready or something like that. Because by any means, the code which you're gonna see there is gonna be like you're gonna learn what things are doing, what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do certain things, but the code is gonna be horrendous. So just for you to know. Okay, now horrendous in terms of how it has been designed. It can be designed way better than this. But just because we are just started to learn, so adding abstractions above abstractions will actually make things a little bit difficult. Now I'm actually going to download the zip file. For now, we're going to have later on. You're going to have a class on Git. So just for you to know as well. Let me see. So I'll open that. And I will open that project. Give it a second. So the moment when you check out this repository, or when you get the code, what happens is you're gonna get the console application being activated for some reason, right? Which is fine. So what we usually do is, because we're working with Windows Forms, so I gotta right click on the Windows Forms, set at the start of project, and then hit F5, right? So we're gonna see what we have here. So so far as Dennis has already covered, we are just making a simple tic-tac-toe game. So you put in the first name and the name of the first player, the name of the second player, and when you hit the button, like turn it on, you will get the actual game. So you press, right? So there you go. You get like, and you define who is the winner, or it's actually going to be like the end of the end of the actual game. So we are going to just add a little bit more functionalities to this. Okay. So I would like to add a couple of things. I would like to add a stupid AI. So that's one. It's not an AI anymore. It's not intelligence. It's like something random. So the moment so we're gonna have actually like first of all, we would like to be able to, like, once this is done, right? So once this is done, we would like to be able to have like a button here or some sort that we can say, when I press that button, we get a new game completely, like we get the port reset, and then you can play again. Another thing is, which is view the game history, right? So if you actually like, you made some moves and everything, you would like to see the full game history, like from start to finish, who actually made what move, right? And you get like a list of text stuff. So yeah, so one of these two, actually, this is like a couple of these features I would like to implement. So we have the history, We would like to be able to create a new game. We would like to have a, let's say if there is no other player with me, then we can have a computer just simply like makes a move, okay? And it is not intelligent, it's just pure random, okay? Now, this is the requirements which we're gonna go through. One of the things which I would like to mention before we get started is a little bit of history. Now, when we talk about Windows Forms, kindly understand that this, what we are working with right now, is related only to Windows platforms. Okay, which can be which can be obvious, I mean, for a lot of you. But if you would like to go cross-platform, you can go with Xamarin. Okay, so the Xamarin has already introduced. You can actually write your own forms, like you can have Windows application on other platforms, like on Mac. I don't know about Linux, but I think it's also available for Linux. Hopefully, I'm not mistaken. So that's that. Now, when you are working with forms in general, this is actually tied to your operating system drawing cycle or life cycle, okay? So every form has its own life cycle, okay? Give me a second here. So I can just get you something that you can see. I think the order of I'm just trying to find if there is something mentioned in Microsoft documentation, like everything, because usually when they when there is a UI, they usually like draw the life cycle of an application. But let's say, but I think this is the closest to reality. Let me show you here in a second. So this is like, so there you go. This is the closest to reality, okay? So this is like a bunch of events that fire whenever you open a form, okay? A lot of things just simply like you get a lot of things happening in there. Now, try to understand that this form which you see is actually, as far as I remember, is tied to Win32 API. Okay, this is the application programming interface made by Windows, or made by Microsoft, specifically for Windows. So you can actually be able to draw on a screen. Not only that, draw windows on a screen. But the Win32 API is just not for drawing stuff. This is just one bit of it. This is like one part of it. Another part of it is the inter-process communication. So you can actually, so IPC, let's say. So this is like the communicating between multiple forms or multiple processes, okay? And the moment you actually create a form, it's in fact conforming to some operating system behavior, which already built into Windows. So for instance, let me give you a simple example. When we run this, if I go over the mouse and hover, you see this actually changes, right? And this changes because the operating system detects that it says, okay, this mouse at this point in time is actually over that button. Please highlight that, right? As the mouse is actually entering the actual button, saying that this button is active, right? Now, you didn't code any of that, right? So if I actually go ahead and go open in my toolbox and just simply grab a button, push it right there for now, okay? And if I start this, you see, I just simply drag a simple button right there. Not only that, it clicks, right? So the operating system actually let you have these stuff out of the box without any problems, and you don't really need to think about. Actually, also not only that, I mean the framework as well is helping you out here. They written a lot of boilerplate code for you. They generated it for you, so you don't actually need to think about that much. But generally speaking, if you would like to override stuff in a very advanced way, you're gonna have to write a Win32 API code, where you're gonna have to. I think mostly gonna right now play with pointers and stuff. You're gonna write unsafe code, I think, because it's right now you're gonna have to do a lot of like really deep operating system, let's say system calls. Check out on the internet. Actually, I've done it multiple times before. Check it out on the internet, like writing a Win32 form or something like that, and you're gonna see that the generating just the form is like what 30-40 lines of code or something like that. So you can just simply have a simple form. If you look at the code here, the code behind. By the way, I press F7 to see the code behind. If you look at the code behind, if we go to design, yes, please. You see, you don't have much. This is actually the drawing bit, like the drawing, in order for you to create a button on a screen, you have to create a button that has a font, has a location, right? But if you look carefully, you don't see a lot of code in there. And if we go to form, now of course it's going to be locked away from us, but you can see here you have a lot of properties here and there. Later on, down deep, somewhere very deep, you're going to see actually interesting code regarding how the operating system literally calls, and you actually get the window registered in the operating system to be handled by minimizing it. It will actually go to the taskbar, maximizing it will take the full screen, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a very important concept to understand. And I advise you to read more about this because this will actually explain a lot of interesting behaviors that you can see. It's automagical, but it isn't. All right. So I will actually start moving on from there. So this is just a little bit of history. Now, which is actually like it's an overview, let's say, of what's happening. So let's actually carry on with the requirements here a bit. It's gonna be this application is gonna be more and more understandable. Like programming for Windows is gonna be more and more understandable once you try it by your hand. So I advise you that you try things by your hand. Okay. Now, when it comes to our requirements, we said we would like to have a new game, and we would like to create an AI for us to do things. So let's actually have the new game bit because it's actually much easier, and I think it's going to be a nice warm-up. So I'm going to grab two buttons right now. Usually when we name buttons in Windows Forms, we name them using Hungarian notations. And Hungarian notation means that you actually, like the first three letters of the button is actually describing its abbreviation to its type, right? And the reason behind it is because we don't have an IDE bit that can actually tell us what we are dealing with. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. This is not text. This has to be. I need the name though. Oh, what the? Okay. For me, this is much easier to find things. So there we go. So this is going to be BTN new game, right? And for the text, it has to be new game. This is going to be history. And the name is going to be BTN history. The name is the the thing which you require in order to access this from your code. So this is going to be, this is what you're going to see in code. So you name the button that way. So you can, like, when you type the code, you just call that button. And if you would like to see the text, you just simply put the text on it. So this is what the user sees. This is what you access from the code. Now, all these properties which you see, they are these are the properties which are exposed to you by Windows that you can actually modify. To be exact, these are the properties which, the most common properties which are exposed by Windows that you can actually modify. There are more properties that you can access and you can modify, but still, again, you're gonna have to do these 132 API calls. By the way, just to let you know, long time ago, when C# 1.0 and C# 2.0, like it was in this era, there was a huge money in actually being invested, and a lot of people were buying controls. So these are called controls, right? The buttons, checkboxes, data grid views, the event providers. These things are called controls, which you can drag and drop. You know, like, do we have anything else other than, let me see here. So checkboxes, these things, right? Combo boxes, for example. Okay, these are called controls. Okay, this is a button, right? So a lot of people were actually investing a lot of money in this, and there are companies who are actually making, relying on these interesting Win32 API calls and overriding interesting, like, drawing functions that they can give you controls that have an interesting look and feel. But this was a really long time ago. I don't know if this is still, this is, I think the trend has died. Right now there are probably 2 or 3 companies that are doing this, which are like having huge money out of this, but I don't know if this is a trend still. So that's why I'm saying, when I'm telling you that these properties are the properties like the most common exposed, there are more that you can actually dig out. But for the time being, I need for your common applications, you will not need any more. Now, we said we're going to start with a new game, right? So we would like to, when we click on that new game, we would like to refresh the whole board, like clean everything. Not only that, but reset the whole scoring and just let the player start over again. Now I'm relying on the fact that you already have that you guys were following Dennis, so I'm not gonna explain the code again. So I'll move on from there. Okay. What I would like you that what I would like that you actually do is later on dig into the code. This will be, I think I'm going to share it with you in the on Teams, so you can dig through it later again. Now, if we go to the tab of events, if we select the button, like the new game button, we go to the events tab. Here are the events, of course, which you can handle. What it interests me is the click one. Now, by default, this is actually the default behavior which you usually like to handle for a button, right? So people might either select and then double click here, or just simply double click here, and it will immediately handle the name click. Now, there are a couple of things I would like to bring to order a bit because just to make it easier for us to navigate. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to paste it right here. Okay. Now these events already exist right in the system. So we're going to refactor this later, by the way. Okay. Sorry, not the form load is also right there. Okay. So I'm going to actually hide this under a region for the second phase of refactoring later. Now, which is, we're going to call this the board, right? Board buttons. And we're going to have here end region. Either we're going to have a bonus class or we're going to have a completely online class dedicated for refactoring the whole project. We'll see. I'll have to discuss with them first and see our schedules, of course. Okay, so when we click a new game, we would like actually to generate this. Now, it's very important to understand that your form is a container control. And container control means it can actually contain other controls. So you can actually get MDI children, validate children, hang on. Okay, so I need probably to do this, sorry. Yeah, I cannot probably see it here. Probably it's somewhere again deep. I container control. Yeah, I need to like dig deep, really deep inside just to get the children bit. Or either that or probably I missed it somewhere. Scale children, you have that. Invalidate. Aha, there we go. So this will find all its children, right? So search child controls. So there you go. This is just to prove to you that the actual form can contain other controls. So that's very important thing, okay? Now, because of that feature, because of that fact, what I can do, if I would like actually to clear the board, I can loop over every button in there and just simply like clean it out. However, because we have this and this guy in here, I would like to in fact avoid them, not to be cleared as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a for each for every item or for every button in controls. And controls is in fact a property within your forms, within your Windows form. I'm going to have if item is button, right? If we can cast this to a button, so I'm going to have a var current button equals to button item. So I'm going to cast it only once. I don't need to cast it multiple times. And if I say have if current button dot name doesn't equal to btn new game and current button dot name, and by the way, I'm calling this name because I'm grabbing the name of the button, and this is called a magic string. This is super bad. Usually like take it and put it in a constants or something, so don't do that. But again, we're gonna as I said, this is the super naive way of writing things, so I'm just going with the super naive version. So it doesn't equal to btn history. So if the buttons do not, like they are not new game nor btn history. Right now, what we can do is we can say, aha, you can actually be cleared, right? You can be cleared in that way. Also remember that you have, when somebody wins, these stuff gets blue, right? So so that's that. So what I'm about to do is yeah. So what I need to do is say that the current button dot text equals to string dot empty. You can do that, or you can just simply like set it to this. But I prefer usually like set string dot empty. The reason why I'm setting it to empty because here it says if button.text equals empty. So it considers that the button is empty if it considers the button is actually free, or is a free slot if it just has an empty text. And that's why I just simply conform to that rule, to that business rule. And I'm saying, okay, please just put the button to be just like clear text. I'm gonna have the current button dot back color, right? So the background color of that button, because we need to reset it back, because if somebody won, it will be blue, right? So I'm gonna have here button, and we have a static kind of default stuff. So you have a default back color. So in case if you made your button look dirty or something, you just simply like can reset it back. And because as well in the logic, in the business logic here, if you look at the bit when it comes to like disable the access for player, or just simply disable the game itself, the button is actually false. Right now we're gonna have to get it back as true. So I'm gonna have here current button dot enabled equals to true. Okay, so that's that. Now, one more thing though. So if we actually click on that button, we do that clear board. Now this is just a, I think this will be called multiple. I can just simply grab this and we can put it in, we can do this. So let me show you that too. So clear board, right? That function doesn't exist, or that method doesn't exist. So what I can do is hit Alt Enter and generate, right? And we paste that here. Right now we have just a function for that to do. So if this guy went away for any reason, we still have the functionality separated. Okay. Now, because we have, when we are actually playing the game, your counter actually starts to increase, right? So you have the counter plus plus. We need to reset that counter too. So what we do is just simply like we can say broyach equals to 0. And then also we have one more, which we can do in fact. Let us actually call this as well. So let's say we need actually to call who's going to be the next player, right? So that's the thing. So you reset your counter, you clear the board, and you say who's going to be the next guy, who's going to play right now. Okay, so that's the thing. And I think this is all what we need to do. It's just is super simple, super streamlined. There's nothing fancy about this. So if I hit F5. Well, let's see. Let's hope that I didn't forget anything. So I'm gonna play this game, and so this is, oh boy. Okay, I have a. And now, of course, as you can see here, I disabled the whole thing, including these guys. This is weird. Did I? Hang on. So this is the BTN new game. And this is BTN history. So we got that. Now, what we can do is, okay, let's debug this. So if we don't know, I don't think so we need this. So let's debug this. Okay, so I will actually I'll put an F9er right there, right? And I'll hit F5. Okay, so we play the game, right? Oh boy. Oh, okay. When the game is over, oh, sorry, I actually was debugging the wrong thing. When the game is over, yeah, I have to modify that bit. Yeah, there you go. I have to modify that bit as well. The reason because why I actually everything is getting disabled is because when you have this clear board, I think what we can do is not call this anymore. Right here, clear board, right? So this is our new version of it. Actually, this could have been modified only without actually like, yeah, but I'm gonna actually call this again probably somewhere. So I'm just gonna leave it that way. Let's go. So this is the end, right? We cannot actually do anything. Also, we need to add this if it is a tie game. Okay, so this is very important. We're gonna add that as well to our list. So if I hit new game, right now we hit the breakpoint, right, which we set. And let me take this out and let me continue for now. And we got ourselves a new game, right? What the? I don't get it. Something happened. Or it glitched on me? Whoa. So here, clears. Huh. Okay, this is... I don't know why it did... Uh-huh. Okay, how about this? Hmm. Okay, let me remove this guy. This is the first thing. For now, because apparently there are some other things which are at play here. Actually, this is not... I actually improvised right there. And I don't know why this happened. But what I can do... Because again, we are going with the horrendous code bit. So I'm just gonna go with the horrendousness for now. So I'm gonna have something along these lines. So please disable everybody except for these guys for now. So if I hit F5, but it still doesn't explain though why this whole thing actually just gets resets. This is the kind of weird. Okay. Okay, so it actually works now. Again, I'm actually gonna refactor this whole code. So right now it's a tie, right? So you cannot click anywhere, which is good. Okay. All right. So we have ourselves a simple reset game, right? So nobody will need to go out and start the game again and so on. Okay. There's probably something I didn't see while I was actually doing this, but I was gonna do it off camera. So just to check what's going on. Okay, so we got our first feature, like resetting or making a new game ready. So that's out of the way. We're gonna need to check if it is a tie game, right? So how to do that? Since we have already a counter somewhere, there we go. We have a counter. Let me just move this up. There we go. It's actually Alt and up and down, by the way. So if you hold down the Alt, up, down, you can actually move a line of code. You can move a bunch of them if you want to. Anyway, we have private void check time game. In fact, you can make this even a property, by the way. Public bool is tie game. And then in the getter, what you can do is just having a return broyach equals 9, because you have 9 moves in total when it comes to this game, right? So just return true, else just return false, right? And that's pretty much it. Because if all the moves happened, right? If you fill in all the tiles on the board, then you will just simply get like, okay, you cannot play anymore, and the number of tiles are 9, so this is like the maximum what you can get. So that's that. Now, how can we do that? Whenever somebody's actually making a move, what we can do is add one more feature right there, and we can say if is tie game, right? We can say this.text, which is the title of the form, equals game is tie, right? So this is like a equalizer. Nobody actually how can I put this? Nobody actually won. And I will call this method, and I will actually even return, right? So once I reach here, if I enter this is it, just simply return. And yeah, and also, yeah, we're gonna actually like have one more bit changed later. We're gonna change this later. So when we actually would like to display the winner, we're gonna like change the massage this code a little bit, just a tiny bit. So if we hit F5 right now, and if we play with this one, we're gonna have. I think we can do this. So Yasmin is actually the next, but the winner was Dennis. But anyway, so new game. Let's check if we can. I somehow cheat myself not to win in any case. So there you go. A game is a tie. You cannot click anyway, right? So we are good to go, right? And if we press new game, right now everybody can play, right? Even when I'm clicking random, I get like I win. I'm not actually thinking, like I'm trying to not to win. There you go. So again. Okay. So any questions so far? Hang on, let me bring up the chat one. Oh boy. I'm sorry. I just noticed it's been like what? So the last message was 51. Sorry. I have to actually like to keep this chat window open. If restarts when someone wins. You are calling clearboard when someone wins. Aha, okay. Okay. You are calling clearboard when someone wins. Actually, when someone wins, I didn't want to clear the board for a good reason, because I would like that people still look at the game, like look at the board in general, okay? But you only clear the board when you click a new game, because if I actually clear the board the moment somebody wins, it will just simply like become like a flash, right? So yeah. Hopefully this answers your question. There's some bug you made, some wins and behaves like a tie. Really? Hang on, let me check. Let me check. Probably because I haven't finished the code yet. So let's say cry, right? No, not this. This. Still works. When you fill up everything, the spaces, there's a when does, and there's a when it doesn't show it. Let me check. Okay, hang on. So we need to fill in everything, right? So somehow, if I figure this out, so we have O and then we have X. Aha! Okay. This is a good point. Winning at the last move doesn't work. Let me see. I think this is because of my checks are actually we are checking if the game is a tie. Okay. There is a fix for that. So let us actually fix this right away. Let us fix this right away. So one of the things I would like to introduce is, and probably it will not fix it exactly all the way, probably because I'm literally hacking code here, because this has to be like completely refactored to something a bit better. So we're gonna have a current player, and I would like to to use it in a way that Okay, this guy will move right here. I will actually return from here. That's the first thing. So I don't want somebody to be shown, like don't show me the next player if the whole game is done, right? So that's one. Because if this falls and this falls, then this will execute. So that's one bit here. And let me try to organize my chat window. Just to keep things tidy on the other screen. Okay, so that's one. And right now we need to do the current player bit. Maybe add is tie game if not cry igre. Actually, it's a tie game if it is actually the end of the game without a winner. So no, it's fine. It's fine. And actually, like it's not a problem to share ideas. This is actually good. So no worries here. Just one thing I just wanted to check here first before I actually carry on with that. So if this is actually the same, I'm gonna try to lose here as much as I can in my power. Please lose. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't call cry igre actually here. So check if tie or is tie is exactly the same thing and as we check if it is at the end of the game. So return if yeah, he actually checks here. we can do we can do that. Let's see this one. Actually, right now I'm literally improvising. I just would like to see what's going to happen. I'm curious here. Please do not win. Kraj igre. Yeah, it will be always kraj igre, which is okay for now. Hang on. This, okay. Yeah, it doesn't say it's a tie though. We're gonna fix that in a minute. Okay, so let's get that going. Actually, I'll fix that at the end because I have a couple of things to add as well. So hang on to that. Actually, in my original code, I don't have that problem. Probably I was actually adding a lot of interesting things. Okay, this has to change as well. Okay. All right, so how about this? Let's consider for a second. Let's just test for the final bit. Let's consider for a minute here that our code is okay. Oh no, not you. This. Oh, come on. This. I'm not thinking straight this morning. This. No, who's the next one? It's actually quite interesting that you have to think for. Okay, so yes, so here's O, so this should be X, and this should be O, and this should be X. Okay, so the game is a tie right now. Let's consider that this is okay for a second here. I will get back to this by the end, okay? So that's the thing. The reason why I would like to do this for now is, so we had this idea of, let me just comment this here. So we have some sort of, so check if tie is already, the mechanism at least is already there. We need to have the game history. We have the new game bit, right? So the new game, like clearing the board, which is actually done. Check if tie is done. Well, do get back to it later. So let's say so. And we would like to have a game history as well. And we would like to have random, also AI, stupid AI, play against, right? So play against. So so this is to be done as well. Now let me push this up. Let me push this down. Okay. So let us actually work on the AI first before we actually get into the history. So if you would like to have an AI, quote unquote AI, you would like to know who's the current player, because based on the current player, I'm going to actually change things. Now, again, the way in which I'm going to implement this is super, super wrong. Super wrong. You shouldn't do that at any point in time. Okay, so this is, you know, like I'm trying to put this out loud and clear in any code. So I don't want this to appear somewhere in Reddit that people saying, hey, look at what people are writing. This is really not a production. I hope that I made myself clear here. We are just learning the naive way of implementing things. Next time, this is going to be way, way better. Here, in fact, is the bit where it's actually like showing which current player. So what we're going to have is, whoops, I'm going to have here like something interesting. So I can actually like grab this and I'm going to say underscore current player equals to this. All right. And I have here underscore current player. The reason behind this is because I'm going to have one more bit here, which is going to have a Boolean, is AI activated. Set. I usually write it as properties. You can write these two as properties, by the way, but I will leave the code as is because this thing is going to be having an overhaul. And I'm going to say if is AI activated. And what? Oh, by the way, before I actually go to before I write the code, here's my logic. So if we actually start the game and somebody just takes out a string right there. Right now, in code, which Dennis actually have put, you cannot actually start the game without having a name, right? What I'm gonna actually do is go ahead in here. When you're actually trying to press that button, I'm gonna have a simple, like this is gonna be eliminated, right? So I'm gonna eliminate this altogether. So I don't need this. I just commented it out. By the way, this, you shouldn't do this in production. Like you shouldn't comment code and leave it out. I'm just commenting it for you so you can see the before and after. Moving on. When we actually start the actual game, like when we start when this form gets constructed by the constructor, so when you get calling it from right? When you call it from here. So you call it from here, right? When this gets called, this bit gets called. And right here, I'm gonna say if, you know what, let's make this a little bit more interesting. String, oh boy, string dot is null or empty. There's a function called is null or empty. So if it is null or empty, then I will just simply say, I'll call this Joe, else prvi igrač, right? As simple as that. The same thing goes here. String dot is null or empty. Drugi igrač is gonna be Joe. You can name it whatever you want. So if you leave it empty, the computer will jump in and will say, okay, since you left that spot empty, I will actually take over. Right? Whether it's the first player or the second player. So right now you have the choice of you playing as X or O. Okay, so and right now what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna have an if statement. So if, again, by the way, this is a magic string. Magic strings are, or magic variables are because there are, you have like also people are initializing integers to some numbers in the middle of the code. When you have something like these, you usually put them in a constant file if you know for sure that this will never, this probably will change, because if you're going to use Joe in multiple places, it's going to be super difficult to refactor. So do not do that as well. This is part of the refactoring, which we're going to do later. So just keep that in mind. Equals to Joe. And as you can see here, God forbid if somebody changes Joe to something else. That's why I hate this. But we're gonna change that next time. Again, naive implementation. Okay. So if one of them is Joe, I'm just gonna say is AI activated equals to true, right? So right now we have an AI in here. Okay. Now, if AI is activated, what we need to do here is allow the AI actually to do the move, right? So this is actually an interesting bit here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another function, which is called private void make move. And then we're gonna have to pick up the free button to work with, okay? So we're gonna have like a small function a small, quote unquote small. Again, it's horrendous, I know, but once we refactor this again, it will be better. We're gonna have a, in order to make a move, we need to pick up a free button. So in order not to blow this up to something else, because make move is just its responsibility to choose a move from a free list of buttons. So we're gonna have another function that does actually gets me a list of buttons. So I'm gonna have a list of free buttons, so button. I'm gonna have get free button. Now the reason why I'm actually getting a free button, because of how this is actually being coded, is that we actually call the click. So we will make the computer actually pick the button and does the click, quote unquote does the click. It will not call this event, but it will in fact pass we'll pass a button right here for it to click it, quote unquote to click it, right? So let me collapse this, so you will see in a second what I'm talking about. So where's my, there we go, get the free button. So I'm gonna have a var btn list equals to new list of buttons. We're gonna have here a for each loop, for each var item in controls, right? So for every control in my thing, and you start to see the pattern here. You see that we have some repetitive code which we need to abstract later on, which we're gonna have to do later, by the way. btn, hang on, return btn list, because I don't want to see this error. After you do the for loop, you just simply return the list. Now, and you instantiate it every time when you, whenever you actually need ones, you're just simply going to get a new one, and so on and so forth. Now, item is button. It's a simple cost, right? We're going to have a var current button equals to button item. And the reason why we are casting it again is because we have the controls are, buttons are controls by themselves, right? They inherit from the control class. And the button itself is, because you have other things than buttons on your screen, or like on the form, and you would like just to pick up these specific buttons. And right now, we're going to have this repetitive code again, which we're going to have to refactor in the next phase. Name doesn't equal to btn new game, and current button dot name doesn't equal to btn history, right? And then we say here if string dot is null or empty. Right now, if none of these buttons are new game or history, now we will check if the button has anything written in there. Does it have X or does it have an O? This is going to be the question, right? And if it doesn't have anything, so current button dot text, so that means it's actually empty. Nobody chooses it. So we're going to have a btn list dot add current button. What? Current button. The reason I don't have braces because these are all one-liners. I know this is kind of probably horrendous way of writing this, so probably can annoy some people, so let me write it this way. Okay. Hopefully this makes sense. Now, so if we have everything there, then we can actually make, right now, start to make the move, right? So in order for us to make a move, we're going to have just a var lst that equals to get free button. Actually, control RR, get free buttons, because it's a plural, we are getting list. So we have to be careful about the namings. Var random equals to new random And actually, the game is so simple that I actually right now don't care about what kind of randomness it is. It's well enough for our uh, it's well enough, good enough for our purposes here. Now I have to make sure that the list is not empty, because if the list is empty, then we have a problem, right? And right now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to say, I'm going to have to call the function for making a move, and then I'm going to have lst random.next, sorry, random.next. And right there, I'm just going to say random.next, please random from within a certain range. So you have the maximum value, you have the minimum value, and the maximum value. So please do it from 0 to the maximum of lst.count, meaning that when you are picking a random spot, you pick it up from the amount which you return from a list. So if the list is, let's say, 5 items, then you're going to have from 0 to 5. If you have only 2 items, there's going to be them from 0 to 1 or to 2, and so on and so forth. So, and then we're going to have, like, please show me the next player. So it makes the move, please show the next player. Okay. Now, please choose the next player is going to be, in fact, an interesting one, because we're going to do the make move from within here. This is why I actually separated this here. So if I have if is AI activated, and because this is actually like kind of let's see, let's give this one a try. I mean, let me put this as so, right? So I'm gonna actually have this right here for now, even though we have a current player already. We're gonna actually refactor this later. So make just the move, right? So that's that. If the current player is Joe, practically speaking, right? Sorry. I have to put this. I know that this is super bad. So really, this is right now becoming super bad. Actually, I could just simply like take this out. But we're gonna, I promise you, we're gonna refactor this later. But first, Dennis has to finish the part of the lectures regarding delegates and events. So I can actually leverage the classes. Do you remember the last class when I was actually writing like with the interfaces, how we separate the board drawing and everything? I'm gonna actually utilize the same, almost the same classes in here. That's why I'm just going with the flow of like showing you how to handle button events and how we're dealing with certain interesting problems. However, next time you're gonna just simply get completely new, fresh code that's much clearer than the mess which I'm adding here. Now, if we have an AI, what we can do is just simply like take out this, and then we have Ukraini. And then right now, because this is actually the first one, so I'm gonna click here once. And right now the AI did his move, did the move. Okay, so it's a tie, let's see. Okay, it's actually like not that smart. But I remember while I was testing this, there we go, it won. Okay, so it's actually like simple, it's very random right now as of this moment. There you go. So it's a tie. Remember, this tic-tac-toe is a solved game. You can actually solve it with something with an algorithm called Minimax. Go ahead and check it out. I'm actually not gonna implement Minimax probably next time, but I'm gonna leave the room for it. So if you guys would like to implement Minimax, feel free to work on it. It could be a good programming exercise for you. Okay. So yeah, so we have that. So right now we have a random player which actually plays with us in case if we don't have a game to play, right? Or somebody to play against. And if I actually move this Here, right now, as you can see here, because I was the first, because the PC that was the first player, it actually made its move. And right now I make my move, right? So when I hit a new game, immediately the PC does its move, which is good. So the logic is actually functioning fine. All right, so we have that. I can give you actually 10-minute break and then we can get back again. Are we good? Hello? Okay. 10 minutes break and we will be back. So it's 9:24. Let's say 9:35. Just wanted to unmute myself for a second to ask you guys, do you have any questions, by the way? I mean, before we get started and everything. You guys still there, right? You can hear me? Mhm. Hmm. Okay. You guys don't have any questions or anything like that? Well, if not, and you guys don't want to say yes or no, then I'll consider no questions. Again, this will be completely rewritten again to something that's meaningful rather than this horrendousness. Let me put this stupid AI to be done. Okay. All right. Let's talk about game history. So, if we would like to make it in a way that we would, so if I actually like go ahead and play here, I would like to be able to, like, whenever somebody's playing, I would like to be able, like, once the game is finished and everything, I just would like to play the history, like to click history. And once I click history, I will get a new window with the list of steps in text, in clear text form for now. Later on, when this gets refactored, we will be able actually to save it in a different way, so we can get something that's much better and we have more control over it. So I'm just removing unused stuff. Control Shift B. Okay, it's built, which is good. All right, so let me see here. What we gonna do? If you would like to make history, we're gonna have a list of stuff which happened. So we're gonna have a private. Actually, one of the things which I would like to do is this. So that's one. Private list of strings. And right here, I'm just gonna have a. Let me put this game history like in small caps, even though I don't like this way of writing things, but we're gonna, again, I'm gonna put it under the to refactor, like overhaul the whole thing. Okay, so whenever this is actually instantiated, like whenever the game window gets instantiated, please create for me a new list of history. So that's that. Okay. And the key bit here, whenever you make a move, I would like to add that into the game history, right? So I would like to be saying game history dot add, and then what I'm going to do here, related strings. So I'm just going to say underscore current player played, right? So hang on, I forgot to add this. So current player played, and then because we already got the button, right? So I can say button.text, okay? And then we add the thing. So this is as simple as that. There is nothing more fancy about this. The other thing here is whenever we click a new game, whenever we do a new game, we just simply say game history.clear. So just simply like wipe out everything because right now you are actually making a new game. And that's pretty much it actually. Right now we need to make sure that we create a new form, okay? And we send to it that game history thing. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I'm going to a Solution Explorer, and I'm gonna have add new form. There we go. And I'm gonna call this. Oh, okay. Hang on. Form. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I'm gonna call this FRM history. Again, I'm using Hungarian notations for this. Oh boy. Okay, cancel. Hang on. Add new item. Windows Forms. Let's see. Did I actually like? Console app. Why it is complaining about console app? Access, okay, what about the form? What the heck? Specify which form you would like to inherit. I don't want to inherit from anybody. Oh. Well, sorry. Hang on a sec. This is weird. How about this? Right click, clean solution. Do we have it here? There we go. So just clean solution from all the temporary files that could happen to be polluting our code or polluting our project. And if I add a new Windows Forms, and if I say FRN history, okay, this is fun. What the heck is going on? Fine. I actually haven't seen this before. Let it be form 1 normally. Apologies, I'm honestly, I'm baffled here. Probably there's something I'm not seeing. What the heck is going on? I can make actually another workaround, but I hate it. I don't think it's correct. Why this is not working though? No built-in assembly. Hang on. Probably there's something I'm missing. No built assemblies. It's unfortunate that I cannot copy the text. This is any CPU. There are actually people also reporting it. I'm actually trying to see. So if I'm trying to add a new form, what's wrong with that? I don't want to inherit it. I just would like to a new form based on the existing Windows form. But I would like just to add a form. Why am I having a problem? Okay, how about this? Can I actually duplicate that? Okay, I can. And I can actually call this history. Here's a workaround. Probably my IDE actually went bananas. That's why. This is right now, I don't know if this will work out completely, but we'll try my best to do so. And if I actually go to my resources, which is okay, and let me go to the view code behind, which is going to be this, right? And this is going to be that. And I'm going to take out this. I'm going to go to the designer code, and I'm going to take out all the initializing components bit, except for the form stuff. In order to be authentic, it's going to be like so. It's going to be history and FRM history. Sorry about that. And this is going to be text history. Okay. I think this is like my only workaround because I'm wondering what's happening. Let's see. Okay, so these controls do not exist, so I'm just gonna remove these guys. And let's go back again to designer. Okay, we got it. Okay, so we have got our history back. Honestly, I don't know, probably my IDE needs to be updated of some sort. I have no idea why it did that to me, but okay. But at least I corrected this, so. Now here's the interesting bit. We would like to add the history, so what I'm about to do is have a rich text box. So we have a rich text box is a way that you can add text while also you can do some interesting styling like bolding and whatnot. One of the things which I would like to add though, if I actually select a control and hit F4, by the way, it shows the properties pane. This is a keyboard shortcut key. If you would like to go to the code behind, F7, Shift F7 to go back. So F7, Shift F7. So that's that. I actually use this a lot when I actually worked with when I was doing Windows Forms some time ago. So this is gonna be okay. So let me select the history, and there is one way of it fixing it, because if I actually run this will be able to be resized, and I don't want that to happen. So border style is gonna be fixed single. And what I'm gonna do here is just gonna minimize this false. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't need anything anymore. And right now, when I go to the designer, if I double click on this, it will generate for me the button click, right? So if I take this and put this there. All right, so this is actually good. Now I'm gonna actually have FRM history, FRM equals to new FRM history with, and I'm gonna actually send it the game history, okay? Now the game history still doesn't exist, that constructor doesn't exist, so I'm gonna add it there. So FRM, yeah, but show dialog, okay? Now the FRM history doesn't have this, so I'm just going to hit F12, and I'm going to call public FRM history, and which will take a list of strings, and I'm going to call this game history, or history, why not? And in order for the control, as already Dennis have shown you before, in order for the controls to be called correctly, upon calling this guy, we're gonna actually be calling this guy as well. So what I'm gonna do here is just have this, right, as a constraint. So when you initialize the form, it will call this first and then it's called this. And what I'm gonna do here as well, I'm gonna have a public or private string, no, list of string game history. Okay. Now, once the form is loaded, what I would like to do is, hang on, this dot game history equals to history. So once the form is loaded, what I would like to do is grab the rich text box, assign to it the actual thing. So I go here, I'll grab the rich text box. I'm going to call it RT history. And then I'm going to have here this dot RT history dot text equals to, right now I'm going to, like, I need actually to do a for loop, by the way. So I'm actually, but okay. Yeah, fine. I'm just going to do it right now. So for each var item in game history, I'm just going to do this plus equals item plus, and then we have the n, right, slash n. If you would like to, we can do the interpolated string bit. So, so, and so. Okay. If you want to, we can do that too. So once you are done with the game, the form will be loaded with the history. So let's give this a go. Let's hope that I didn't forget anything though. So I will start this and I will actually play. Let's hope that I don't win accidentally. I did. So if I hit history, as you can see here, we got who played what, right? In that specific order. Now, when I did actually fix to window, if you noticed, I cannot actually double click. If you hit Control space, Alt space, you cannot actually modify, you cannot minimize, maximize, you can only move the thing, right? Which is good. So, and of course, right now people can edit this. So what we can do is make this read only. So we can say, like, once you do that, so this dot RT history dot read only equals to true. You can do that here, or you can do it here. Yeah, I need to find it now. There you go. So read only, double click on that, we'll flip it out. So if I hit F5, and actually, how about we play against an AI? So there we go. And it immediately says who played what, right? And O actually wins, so the final, like, this is the winner. So that's that. Okay, as simple and as easy. What we can do as well for the XO bit, we can actually as well call that the, it's not sizable, it's going to be like fixed single. So nobody can as well resize this, I think. Or, hang on, not fixed single, then what was the, yeah, it was fixed single here. Probably I need to not only call it fixed single, but take this out too. Minimize and maximize, so you cannot minimize or maximize the thing. Right now, I just simply send the flags to Windows API. I actually do not touch that part, right? So let me erase this. So right now, as you can see here, it doesn't, you know, you cannot touch this, right? You cannot actually maximize it or minimize it. Can we also add when was the move made in the log history? You mean like the date timestamp? Is that what you mean, the timestamp, right? Oh yeah, sure. You can do that right there. So we can. Hang on, I'm trying to find. Okay, this is gonna be not needed anymore, right? I don't need this anymore, so we can take that out. Take that out. And you have. Give me a second. I need just to find it. Ah, there we are. Where we are here. And we said game history add, right? Where is it? So add to the game history here. We can add, I think we have a date time dot now. And that's it. Yeah. That's one of the things which I will actually add next time, where the move was added. The problem here is you don't have a location per se, right? Actually, where the move is added is super useful, and this is going to be the next time. The reason why we don't have it yet is because of we don't have a board as a concept in this code, right? You have just a bunch of buttons that you are picking from randomly, right? And that's pretty much it. In fact, I will actually try another trick right now, and let's see if this will work. So let me hang on. So let me first let's make sure that we have a normal format. So there we go. The date and time is there. If you are making a chess game, then you're gonna see it. You're gonna have a better history, right? Okay. Regarding, I would like actually to experiment with something. I would like to see. The problem is I cannot remember what will happen exactly, but in my mind, it should work. Let me see here. The reason why I'm looking at this is because probably I'm mistaken. Probably I need to think about it a little bit more. The sender here is this all of them can call actually one method, by the way, instead of like having multiple events like this. So handling on click per each one can be like, so let me have this. What about generic function? Could we use avoid 9 definitions? That's what I'm actually looking at this right now. There's no need for a generic. You just simply need, we can call this button handler. Or, yeah, I'm going to call this button handler for now. I'm going to change this. Object sender. I'm just going to see what the best can be done. Because since I'm going to refactor this code again later, I'm gonna actually this is gonna change substantially, so that's why I'm not playing too much with the code here. Okay, I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need any of you. I just need you to be code, please. Yes. Okay. This is history. Okay, save. This, no. Sorry. This. So let me close this, close this. And I would like as well the code here. So F7 on that. And fine by me. Let me close this. And now, let me see what will happen if I actually point to this guy instead. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So right now, all of these guys are right now pointing to the same function, right? Whenever you click, just call that, right? At the end, it will give a different sender for each one of those, right? So currently, as you can see here, there are 9 references, but 0 references for each one of those, right? So let's see how this will pan out. F5. Okay, it works. Good. And if we have an AI, yep, it works. Perfectly fine. Good. So right now I can get rid of all of this. Okay. Actually, you can take out that region. You don't need this anymore. But the reason why we could do this is because all of these buttons do the same, exactly the same thing, except for they're just simply like they are different when they get called. So I can actually call this like I don't want to call this button handler, but I'll call this board slot handler. Why not? Why not? So there you go. Okay. I think we have, like, when I look at this now, so just a final check. And we'll look at the history, we have the history. Now, next time, what I'm planning to do is actually abstract all that and make this a little bit nicer. So when we start this, you will not have magic strings like these, right? You will not have these interesting checks. You will have a little bit better control. These stuff will be moving to the game board or the game object, which will actually control the game itself. It's going to be a little bit interesting engineering bit, I would say, like quote unquote engineering for an introduction to C#, but it's fine as, you know, at least to give you an example of how these things should look like in a better manner. You will not have these interesting checks, right? Because if somebody changes this anywhere, this whole thing fails. So this software is right now, as of its current time, it is super fragile. And it can actually like break at any moment super easily. You see, I'm actually like checking for buttons and stuff, for button names and stuff. So this, and this also I think is repeating, like this for each loop. If you look at it, like right now when we objectively speaking, you see this actually repeated here. So this, you can see a pattern right now. Like this can be abstracted, this bit at least can be abstracted in its own method of some sort, right? This is okay for the checks, even though the checking will not be done on the UI side, but it will be done on the game side. Okay. So yeah. Okay, at least we got this better, right? So this is way better than this time. But again, remember that probably Dennis was showing it to you, like to show you how these things work. But because probably you are missing the lesson for delegates and events and these things, probably he didn't go the extra mile there, but you're gonna see it next time. And when we get to it, I'm gonna explain to you, we're gonna actually right now leverage the full power of the whole application, so yeah. All right, do you guys have any questions regarding this? I think I'm done here. There's nothing else I would like to add. Probably we'll add the stuff later when we get to the being done. Yes, you can dynamically create buttons, which you're gonna have in the next time, I think, if you want to. The reason behind this, the only thing here is what you can do is, let me see if I can show it to you. So I'm gonna, okay. Let me, this initialize component bit. You see this? This is actually the buttons being created for you dynamically, by the way. The designer is just something that you drag and drop things to make the stuff, your life easier. But in fact, this is how it's being created in the code behind. And as you can see here, here's your location, right? And the location is calculated from the top left corner. So if I want to, I could actually just, whenever you create a new game, where's the new game? New game. Ah, there we go. I can have like, you know, var btn crazy equals to new button. And then I could actually, because I'm actually going to copy some stuff because I'm too lazy to type, to be honest. There you go. I need some of the stuff. I need this. Actually, I need location, and I need size. So I'm going to grab this and that. Actually, I'm going to grab all this, and I'm going to paste it right there. And now, this is going to be, and this is going to be taken out. I don't need it. And the location is going to be, how about it's going to be random? Var random equals to new random. So you're going to get a new button every time you click a new thing, and it's going to be like in a random position. So I think we're going to have random.next. And I think we have this.size.x or .width. So you have, so the maximum place where the button will show up should be like not outside of the form, right? And we're going to actually subtract the btn.size .width from that. So we make sure that the button is inside the form as a whole, because as far as I remember, it's being calculated from the top left corner, as far as I remember. And then we're going to have another random.next. And then we're going to have height. And this is going to be height. Actually, we did this. We were doing these toys when we were students. Exactly. You can actually make a matrix of buttons. You can just do a for loop, and then you can have fun. I don't care about the name for now. And you can even can add an event handler directly in there. You can just simply like hook that up dynamically, and off you go. So, well, if you want to, I can show it to you in a minute. So the size is going to be the same. The tab index we don't care about. The text is going to be crazy, right? Man, it's been super long time since I've done this. But it actually was fun to do with our friends. So let's see. I think this is pretty much it. I hope that I didn't forget anything else. Let's hit F5 for fun. And let's see. So if I hit a new game, do I have the button somewhere? No. Probably it's displayed somewhere. Let's see. I think. Oh, right. I think I need to add. I think it needs to be added later on into the controls, I think. Because when you instantiate this size tab index, there's a place where we, aha, there you go. Yeah, right. So let's see if this is actually the case, because honestly I forgot how this was. So this .controls.add btn crazy. Let's see if this will work. If it doesn't, probably I will just simply see how did I do it long time ago. Honestly, there we go, we have it. So there we go. And it's actually behind the actual thing. So right now I have crazy everywhere, right? What we can do though, as far as I remember, there was a btn, hang on, dot order, I think, or it says where it's going to be drawn, right? It's going to be above everybody else. What was the name of that property? Hang on. It's not the tab index, it's I think either it is because you are I think it's how Windows is handling, like where you are inserting the buttons in the I will just simply resize this to make it a little bit bigger, but I think it's regarding how the order of controls, like in the list, it gets rendered. I don't know if you can actually like change that dynamically, but we can test that probably in a later time. So you can actually generate buttons, and apparently I'm losing the text for some reason, but fine. And right now you can like do all that, and you have two buttons behind each other and stuff. And right now, if you want to, we can go even bananas with this, and I can have btn. What was the syntax for it? Hang on. Oh, yeah, dot click. Okay, so let me just do this. And what I'm gonna do, but again, this is for the next time. And here it's gonna need to point to a function. So I'm gonna do this message box to show. Let's hope that I don't get mistaken by the. I didn't get mistaken by the thing. Hello world. I think I made a mistake in the actual thing, right? Does not take 0 arguments. What was the? Yeah, it cannot do that. Fine. Let's say some private void, some crazy call. Okay. And actually, we're gonna do that here, and we're gonna give this here. Oh. This is the first thing. The second thing, this doesn't exist. The third thing here, it doesn't want to represent the call that will have. Now I remember. It should actually have a sender and event arg-e. It's going to be object sender event args-e, right? So it right now satisfies the thing. So if I actually have this sender and e, and this goes message. Yeah, I forgot that this is the signature, and this here is going to be hello world. Right, now we should be .show. Now we should be safe. But I don't know if this is a good idea. Sender S and args, let's say so. Okay, let me erase this just to make this a little bit more interesting. So let me press F5. You will understand this with Dennis. Okay, this way of writing, so don't worry about that. You're going to see it later. I'm just trying to compact my code here. So if we have multiple of these, and if I press one, press the other, press this guy, press this guy, so you can have this, right? So right now you have a random button generator, right? So you can generate a bunch of buttons. I don't know how much time it will take until you break the actual thing, right? So actually can make a Windows game out of this. if you want to, I don't know what kind of logic it's going to be, but hey. So there you go. All right, hopefully this answers your question. Right now you have the ability to generate the whole board. If you would like to make a chessboard, it will be generated. If you would like to make a, I don't know, a tic-tac-toe board, it's going to be generated. So you can generate all that. Add the event handler to point to this, and you are just good to go. Okay. Hopefully this answers your question. Let me just remove this horrendousness right now. Do you guys have any other questions? Well, you guys are still there? Hello? Okay. Okay, all right, all good. All good. Okay, thank you very much then for everything, and hopefully we'll see you then next time. Hopefully, depending on what's gonna be covered next time, we're gonna actually be doing way, way, way better code than this. Better architecture, better logic handling, less messier code than this craziness, right? This is super bad, actually. There are so many super bad things I've done here. Like, I don't know, this is repeated, right? There are so many, this is super bad. I mean, I'm talking about this part. So there are so many things that can be done way, way better. This will be kept because I think this is okay. So yeah, okay. So please keep in mind that this is just an introduction. Later on, we'll make this better. Take care, have fun, wear your masks, and we'll see you next time.